is WrestleMania week, and you best believe we've got the best of the best guests lined up for you and your ears on tonight's show. AJ Styles is in the house, and you better believe as well, he's got another landmark WrestleMania match on the card. AJ, you keep pulling them out, man. You keep pulling them out this year.
There's if you look at my WrestleMania opponents, it's easy to pull out great matches when you have the opponents that I've had. So yeah, I'm blessed to have some of the, in my opinion, some of the better WrestleMania matches.
Mate, what a legacy, and it's going to continue this week with Edge, man. That's been a dream match for some guys. Obviously, I know you've spoken about this before, kind of two ships in the night, different companies. Edge gets injured. Now it's finally the possibility has arrived. Let's get into that quickly, man. You and Edge, the prospect of it happening. I know there were some fans months ago going, oh, you know, I don't know what Edge is doing at Mania, I don't know what AJ's doing, and people were hoping for it. When did it become the reality for you? Because I know we were speaking a year or so ago, and you'd wanted Triple H, right? And it kind of late in the day, you said that it just worked out that it couldn't happen. When did you realize? When did the green light happen that the dream match with Edge was on?
Well, listen, it's nothing till it's something, right? Especially in the business that I'm in. So many promises have been made, and of course they don't happen. So I'm one of those guys. I'll believe it when I see it. When it comes to pro wrestling and what we do, and shoot, I guess well, you know what? When I knew it was going down in the ring with the concerto, I knew it was finally going to happen.
Yeah, and again, was that your number one pick this year? You wanted Edge?
I wanted Edge. I think he felt the same way. It's just something that we've always wanted to do, but never had the ability. Just like you said before, I was somewhere, he was somewhere, and then he got hurt, and the possibilities of it happening were slim to none. And how here we are at WrestleMania. It's going to happen.
Can I just ask, and I could be way off here, but the Omos story, did you think that was maybe originally intended for a bigger stage, perhaps? Conclusion?
Well, I mean, that's pretty big stage, WrestleMania, but I thought it would lead a little bit further than it did. But, I believe it was time for me to be on my own anyway, away from Omos. And he can only learn when he's in there doing it by himself. He can learn from his mistakes. He can learn from, doing something great. So it was important that he be by himself so he can learn quicker. And it was important to me to, be by myself because I felt like I wasn't really doing much.
Yeah, and I know there was a lot of people that were clamoring for AJ Styles to be more of a focal point like you have been down the years. And now, of course, we're going to get it, man. Edge, big-time matchup. In that respect, with you and Edge meeting at WrestleMania, the thing with you now is that, like you said, your resume is so killer. Who else, other than Edge, let's assume you get a big victory at the weekend, is there anyone else on the list? We mentioned Triple H, of course. Unfortunately, he's retired now. Anyone else?
It's hard to know who the next person is that you'll get in the ring with, because you never know who's going to have that storyline that pushes them to the top of the list. I'm not sure who that is going to be. A lot can change in a year. So I think we're both going to have to find out next year, because I don't know.
And the problem is, man, you're going to become the guy you're chasing soon. There's going to be a lot of guys that want you to give them the dream match at WrestleMania. You're going to have to hang around and give these people their receipts.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I want to be that guy. I want to be able to get in there with, someone who's always wanted to compete against AJ Styles. I want to be that guy. I think it'd be, when you're excited about the match that you're going to have, as I am with Edge, it's going to be good. So, I mean, it only leads, to great things, these matches that we've always wanted. A lot of time and effort and thought goes into these matches, and we want to make them great.
And I say that as well, like people will want you to be their match. I know you signed a deal earlier this year, if I'm not mistaken. There were reports with WWE. You have said previously that we didn't have that long left in the ring, and you were starting to think about what you were doing after. Can I just ask, as part of this deal, because I do believe you said you want to do some scouting when it's all said and done, is any of that factored into this deal, or is it purely concentrating on the wrestling?
Well, let me make one thing clear. I didn't sign anything recently. I had something on my contract where I got to decide, kind of a player option, what I wanted to do. And we just extended the contract that I already had. So, you can't believe everything on the internet, except we're on the internet talking. So
from the horse's mouth, though, you can believe that.
So, but time is running out. As far as AJ Styles is concerned, I am getting older. The ability to put on great matches is getting a little bit harder. So I don't want to embarrass myself at the same time. I want to get out while I can and still have somewhat of a legacy. I don't want to have to work anywhere else. I'd love to work within WWE, but I don't know if that's going to happen if I'll have the chance. But I would like to be a scout because I think, I know we've changed some things around here in the WWE, but at the end of the day, you gotta find these I don't want to call them actors and stuntmen, but like you got to find these athletes that want to do this their whole life, and not saying that, football or basketball, the athletes from can't be great. We've seen it with Kurt Angle, so we know that guys coming in like, from a sport, an Olympic sport or whatnot, wherever it may be, can be great. But for someone who's want to do this their whole life, they know what's expected of them. They know what they can do to, chase that dream. And I don't know, it's a little bit different. And I think it'd be a little bit harder for someone who's never watched wrestling before in their life to come to this stage and put on there, when your ego's not involved. And trust me, I had a little bit of an ego because I did wrestling in high school and college. Mm-hmm. But when you learn to go, okay, wait, what's the story? That's the most important thing. And you got to let go of these egos. The egos don't matter. They're not going to sell pay-per-views, egos. What we need people is to sell the story. And sometimes people who want to do this a whole life know that better than anybody.
Yeah.
That was a long-winded answer.
I appreciate it though, because part of that ethos, is that kind of part of the remit that recently took you down to NXT with Grayson Waller? Like, what was that little sabbatical about?
So that whole thing is, was kind of my idea. I wanted to make sure that, guys and girls who are in NXT would be prepared to come up to WWE and do well. It's not good for anybody if they get here on SmackDown or Raw, and that's not what we wanted. We have to prepare them to give them, when they get up here, that's what we want. That's why when we brought you up, that's what we wanted to see. So we have to do what's right by them. And that means sometimes bringing down talent that is on Raw and SmackDown to show them exactly the way that we want to see them perform on the main roster.
And did it feel good? Like, did you come away impressed from your trips down there?
Absolutely. I'm so impressed with how hungry they are down in NXT. I love it, man. And it inspired me, just seeing how hungry those performers are down there. And I want to be a part of helping that group of talent get to the next level. To me, nothing better than seeing someone do well. And if you had a hand in helping them get there, that's icing on the cake.
A couple of things I want to ask you about WrestleMania. You excited to see Steve Austin pop up? Like, I mean, you've had the pleasure of receiving a stunner once before, and I do call it a pleasure. I do call it a pleasure. How excited are you to see that man having a physical confrontation, nonetheless?
I believe that's on WrestleMania Saturday that we're going to see this. I do believe, and I can't see anybody not excited about what's about to happen. We all know something's going to happen. It's not going to be a casual conversation. Something's going down. It's Steve Austin. We all want to see it.
Yeah, man. Again, I mean, I'm going to be there, and I must say, there's a ton of matches I'm pumped for. But if you can't get pumped for that glass breaking, man, it's
something's wrong with you. I agree.
Do you cherish the segments you've had with Austin?
Absolutely. I've told the story before. After taking the stunner, he gets in your face, starts, doing his thing. I didn't know that I could be called so many cuss words in such a short amount of time. It's pretty impressive. I thought maybe he was just doing gibberish, but nope. He's cussing you up and down, left and right. It was a moment for me. I admit, it is also doing his thing, but it was a moment for me.
I got to bring this to your attention too, because a couple of people have been saying nice things about you lately, and I want to get your thoughts on it. So you mentioned Kurt Angle earlier. I don't know if you've seen this, but he was talking about the best people he's ever been in the ring with, and he mentioned you alongside Eddie Guerrero, Shawn Michaels, and Benoit. And he actually said about you that you're incredible, and he reminds me a lot of Eddie Guerrero, not from a character perspective, but from an in-ring wrestling perspective. Very identical, he called you. I mean, to be likened to Eddie in any kind of way, that must be cool though, I guess, right?
Absolutely. I mean, it's Eddie Guerrero, one of the best in the world, to be in the same name collection as Eddie Guerrero and Shawn Michaels. That's huge. And Kurt had the pleasure of working both of them. For him to say that means a lot. And, I enjoyed working Kurt as well. I mean, we got to the point where I would tell him what to do next, but it was his move, because I knew him so well, and it was so easy to be in the ring with Kurt. We had a lot of great matches, and I'm very appreciative of him.
I know the start of your career was around when Eddie unfortunately passed away. Like, you'd been in the business for a few years, but did you ever get any chance to pass him on any show?
There was a time when he was released in that short period of time from WWE, and he went on the independents. And I had the pleasure of being on a show with him, and I was starstruck. It was Eddie Guerrero, and it was an indie show, and I didn't have a room yet. And he said, "Hey, you want to stay? You can stay in the room with me and chill out until your room is ready." And I was just floored. And I was like, "No, I'll be all right." Eddie Guerrero. I mean, I don't know what to do. I'm too nervous. Anyway, he was just a really nice guy. I got to see Jerry Lynn and Eddie Guerrero work, which was, two of my favorites.
Wow.
It was pretty awesome. But yeah, Eddie was a great guy, man.
Oh man, you should have took the offer.
I know it. Just not knowing what to say in that moment, sitting in the same room with him it'd been too much.
No, I hear you. Another man that's had some compliments for you. He called you a hero of his. Is Butch. Actually, Pete Dunne. Dunne / Butch has said that you were a hero of his growing up, and that he obviously hopes to work you one day and do something together. Well, I mean, I'm obviously a Brit. He's one of our greatest exports in recent memory, man. One of the best workers, in my opinion, going today. What do you make of Butch and his desire to work you one day?
I like the fact that he's taking what he has. Much like I did. We're not the biggest guys in the world, but we found a way to make it fit him. And that's how you succeed. You can't be like someone else. You got to be yourself. And yeah, Pete got his name changed to Butch, but it doesn't mean that he's going to have to keep it. Just keep doing what he's doing. And maybe he's the next guy, to be honest with you. Now, when you brought that up, it just kind of light bulb went off, but maybe he's the next guy that I'll see at WrestleMania. I don't know, but it's guys like that I know I'll have fun with, and we'd have a great match. There's no doubt in my mind. So he's definitely up there.
Yeah, I don't doubt you'd have a great match for 1 second, by the way. Man, the other thing I wanted to talk about in terms of, you said it yourself earlier. A lot of people have been clamoring for more AJ, right? Like, and I mean this with the greatest respect, but you've been like not in the main event scene on the shows, right? And people want to see that again. How much did you enjoy your IC title run, AJ, a couple of years ago, where you were working, Bryan Danielson, you dropped it to Jeff Hardy. There was a host of great names that you were working with, having great matches.
Well, I think it would have been better had that had real people in the arena. That would make it a lot more fun. So it was weird. It's that transition, that whole thing that happened. I really didn't get to enjoy it because of the pandemic and what was going on, and you're worried about other things. You really didn't get to enjoy that championship. So, maybe there's another opportunity there to run with that. But I got to tell you, man, as grateful as I am to be Intercontinental Champion at one point in time, it was one of those things that is also easy to forget because of during the time of the championship.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Danielson match, I won't forget in particular. I thought it was amazing. But man, let's finish on Triple H, right? I was like the number one campaigner for Styles and Triple H at WrestleMania. Unfortunately, of course, it didn't come to pass. And now we know that the game is retired. I just want a few words from yourself on him, really. Like, I assume he played a big role in getting you to WWE at that point when you joined.
Yep, he is the reason why I'm here, along with Terry Taylor, finally getting Triple H to call me and have a conversation about WWE, which was a great conversation. The first time I talked to Triple H, I think it was like for 30 minutes. We just chatted it up, and I was like, man, this is going to be great.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he's the reason why I was brought to WWE. There's no doubt about it. So I'm very appreciative of what he's done for me in my career here in the WWE.
Was it almost not what you expected when you spoke to him on the phone? Do you know what I mean? Because you'd probably seen him from afar.
Yeah, I mean, you never know what to expect. But he was running NXT, so I knew that he had an eye out for talent, and because Finn Balor had been there already, and Samoa Joe as well. So I knew kind of what to expect. He obviously was a good guy, or those guys wouldn't be down there in NXT. So I wasn't surprised by, the great conversation we had. I was surprised at how long it went, for 30 minutes, but no, I wasn't surprised.
Awesome, man. Well, I can't wait to see what cooks up this weekend. You and Edge at WrestleMania, man. The WrestleMania run of AJ Styles just keeps on rolling. I'm happy for you to finally get, another name that you wanted, man. So thank you so much for joining TalkSport here today. Can't wait to see what you do this weekend.
I'm excited, man. I hope everybody tunes in. It's going to be 2 days of fun for sure.